I can't make you stay. We were titans. We were titans. We were.
I knew I wanted it to evolve because my life was evolving. To be honest with you, I wanted Danity Kane to be as visual as that. When I was first in the group, long before we broke up, I've always been that person. But we didn't have the power to do that. We were a group from a show. Like, there was no way I could say, I would like our album to be a Gustav Klimt painting. They would be like, girl, bye. It's not realistic. And then getting into Dirty Money, I started to see the power of the ability to stretch the art. Puff kind of understood that. He wasn't as much into it, but he was still, it was present a little bit more. Tide is the most personal to me. That record wasn't even on the album and I made a video for it. It was because I think that it was it was the most profound work I've ever done, and I think the song was so layered that if I would have put it on the album, I think people would have been like, don't ever put that. They wouldn't have, it would have just literally like, they're like, what are you doing right now? But I felt like it needed to be there. So a visual, just to walk with all the world falling down on you and to be able to stand firm in that has been pretty much this journey for me. And I think everybody's seen that. It's not a secret. I'm just doing the music that I feel comfortable doing. There is no, it is obviously different from Danity Kane. It's not the same thing, but at the time when I was doing music, I have a love and affinity for music. So I never felt like I had to pick what I wanted to do. I love pop music, I like R&B, I love alternative, I love electronic. I grew up loving punk, in feminist groups, like the Angry Girl, that was like my thing. But I didn't think I had to like one thing, and if I changed it was taboo. I didn't know that. So obviously it's different, but I don't think it was purposely done. I'm doing the music that feels good to me. Like, I loved Biff Naked. They're Canadian. Yeah, you know Biff Naked? Yeah, Ibifficus was like my whole entire elementary childhood. K's Choice. Like the Cranberries were more alternative mainstream, but I loved her voice. Thought that voice was nothing I had ever heard before.
Kinda like James Day.
To me, music is supposed to be cathartic. It's supposed to be ethereal. I don't really care what you look like. I don't even really care if you have a face. If the music is healing me, then I don't really, care. And I think that was the message I was trying to convey, is if I am just bare, would you still care? Like, would you still appreciate me? If it doesn't, why does it matter so much? And I try to change my image each video to make the point. I can be all those things and it's fine. It's okay. You don't have to be like, people get in such a rule, like, oh, if you don't keep that same hair, if you don't keep that same face, then that's not authentic. You're changing. But isn't art interchangeable? Like, doesn't, I just feel like, doesn't it change? Don't your feelings change? So why can I not make that type of transition and it be okay? There's a marriage happening within digital art and music that I'm really, really loving as well. I think it needs to be that way, because it was similar to that when you had Missy Elliott. It was creepy, when her head would literally come off, and then, you know what I mean? But then she had this elements of choreography and all these beautiful things that kept you watching, and no video was ever the same. I just want to be reminiscent of those times. That's really what I'm trying to do. And we didn't care how Missy looked. We did not care. We were present in her. We loved her because her sound was just undeniable. I want to go back to that, because I feel like that's all I'm doing, is just making visuals that make sense with the music and hoping that people like it. You're not going to like all of them. They're all different. But that's the point. You find your favorite and you say, this is what I liked about this. That's the point. Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, and we didn't even know that wasn't popping on. That was funky. It was the keys, the instruments, like the choice of pop don't have that many instruments, or does, you know what I'm saying? Like, they were creating a whole new sound and we were not even questioning it because it felt good. Janet wasn't even naked. She was so sexy, and half the time she had on like the baggiest clothes of all time, and she was still sexy. We didn't even think about those things. And that's why I can appreciate Sia. She's sticking to that one. And I understand why she's sticking to it, because every time she steps on the stage, there is never a time I'm disappointed. It's great music. It's just great music. You know, Puff, one thing he told me that I hate that he said it, but it's true. He's like, you gotta learn to do the songs like people hear them, because they come to the concerts to hear it exactly like it. That is a huge problem for me, because I am always wanting things to evolve. And that's no different with having a live band do something against an electronic sound, because it does become something different. It evolves into a larger or a different type of sound. And we're playing with it. You know, I wanna get to a place where I'm able to play with both seamlessly.